What's going on, Jitto Yangs? We are going to be going over the only indicator that I now use on my charts, giving you a full rundown, basically what all it does, how I use it, different strategies you can use with it. So that's basically what this video is. I've literally gotten like 300 DMs and comments over Instagram, YouTube, all asking for me to explain ways to use this indicator. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I ended up releasing my first ever indicator. I paid somebody to make me an indicator that plots all the levels I use for my IFEG trades, my order flow trades, my top and bottom ticks, all of that kind of stuff, and I asked them to all condense it into one indicator. It took a couple weeks to get done, but it is now done. So here it is right here. I'll just move my camera. This is the ticking toolkit for top and bottom ticks, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is now available on WAP. It's $35 a month. It's super inexpensive because you can literally pay off like a year's worth of the indicator in like one trade. In fact, somebody was talking about that earlier today. So it's monthly, but if you join the Capital Academy, which is a one-time payment, you get lifetime access to the indicator alongside member trade reviews. We're going to start doing live trading 3 times a week starting next week. Where there's also like a trade journal in there, and you get accountability partners and 40 plus classes that are already recorded and lifetime access to the indicator. When you go to purchase the indicator, you are also going to receive a PDF. This is a 15-page like little ebook that goes over different strategies, what levels I like to use the most. As you can see over here, my personal config and all of my settings. That comes with your subscription. Real quick, I'm actually in a trade based off of the indicator right now. I don't know if you can see that. But I literally top ticked. You can see it's a literal top tick on the market. If it focuses, look at that. Absolute banger, just dumping top tick using the indicator. And when we first open it up, you're going to be seeing all of this kind of stuff. So personally, I like to use all the settings I'm giving you here. This label size right here essentially changes the size of the names right here. The lines will stay the same, some people, might want to have it big on their screen just so they can see it at all times, but I personally like the normal. Another thing, time zone. I like to keep the time zone sitting at UTC -4. This is so important. Do not change this. Please keep this the way it is. The reason why is because if you start tweaking with the time zone, it's going to start changing the levels because now it's reading different data. And if you trade ICT, or even if you don't trade ICT, you should already be on UTC-4 regardless of what your time zone is. Because personally, I am in Central Time Zone, but I use EST for literally everything, which is UTC -4. This just keeps you on the same page as the New York Stock Exchange. So now you're going to be seeing a extend right, which right here, this basically says how far away you want the label. And bang. See? It's far away, but I personally like it close so I can keep track of what I'm actually trading. As you can see, it marks out your previous day high, low, previous week high and low, previous month high and low, previous quarters high and low, previous years high and low. These are going to be your key liquidity zones. These are areas you want to look for sweeps and inverses, which I'll show you here in a minute. Another thing is your current open, so your midnight open, your day open, and just so I can make this easy to be seen with this white chart background. You can see we have midnight open up there, we have monthly open, so it plots all of these levels for you, okay? And as you can see, just off of these, working fairly well. My position is cooking up right now. Now we have our midpoints. So we have daily midpoint, weekly midpoint, monthly midpoint, quarterly midpoint, and yearly midpoint. These are key areas where I believe I saw somebody somebody earlier took this trade right here inside the Capital Academy, just shorted it, targeting zone down here. And also one thing I do want to make clear is that this does not just only work on NASDAQ. This basically works for every single 24-hour market, like Forex, crypto, all that kind of stuff. This works on different indices. This works on gold. This works crazy on gold. I'll be showing you guys that in a minute. This works on basically everything. Some of the levels like midnight open will not work on stuff by the New York Stock Exchange, obviously, because there aren't midnight opens. You just can't see it. You don't have that data. So those are the midpoints, and now we have the X levels. The X levels mark out something that has to do with the end of the day and volume. I can't really discuss it on here because it's one thing that has never been discussed anywhere on the internet. I paid good money to find out this information, and I'm low-key just not going to give it away for free. Call me greedy, call me whatever you want, but I'm giving it to you in this indicator. Essentially, it's marking out these key levels that work extremely well. You're supposed to use this ideally on the 5-minute time frame, but this will work on the 1 minute. Let me make that clear. It works on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. And what you can do is you can change how many days and levels you want. So in theory, if we zoom out and we go back to the indicator, I can change this to 60 days and it'll give me 60 levels, and a lot of the times these things just straight up cook. You can see up here, there's some more below price, all plotting out. So yeah, as you can see, it's also a good way to stack confluences. As I took my trade, my short on monthly open that I'm currently up 1K on each account on, there's also an X12 and another X12 right here. These are key levels. And essentially, if you entered off of this right here, you would have only had 80 ticks of drawdown. But my personal settings that I like for this is to use 5 look back days for these levels. They work extremely well, and it basically declutters your chart because you don't want to have too many levels on your chart, essentially. So yeah. So all of these levels can be used to top and bottom tick, but let me make this clear is that not every level is going to do that every time. As you can see here, you have to have some sort of narrative. You can't just like take random trades off of things. You actually have to have some sort of idea and direction. You have to have a sort of bias, because the problem with this, some people straight up are just trying to take random levels without having any sort of bias for the day. The same reason I'm taking monthly open short right now and not looking to like a long monthly open is because I'm bearish. I'm bearish for this move. Okay, I know that right now the market is just simply rebalancing this huge range, and I believe we'll go lower. I might be wrong, but that's my bias for this. That's why I'm in short. But yeah, so using this, literally taking it exactly off the level it cooked, 58 points. That's insane right there. One trade could literally be like your month's worth of income. Okay, it's genuinely that crazy. Now I'm not saying this happens every time, but it happens a good amount of times where there's these really hard rejections. Now, one of the strategies I'm going to teach you guys is that using what's called 50 tick rejections are extremely powerful with this tool. And real quick, kind of just want to show this off. I mean, look at the way I was respecting this with a bearish bias. And then here, you know. Now, what I like to do, and some of my students like to do, is they like to take these zones and use 50 tick rejections. What that means is essentially you set up an order preset that whenever you see a level like midnight open, specifically the opens, you take 50 ticks for a stop loss and 50 ticks for a take profit. And this 9 times out of 10 I've seen will result in a win. And when you scale down, if you just take the level, you will usually get a 50 tick rejection even if your bias is wrong. So in this case, you're wrong. I mean, you have a bearish bias and you're taking longs, but it still worked and then failed. But the good part about this is that you're taking it and you're taking profit before it fails. Okay, so 50 ticks is really well for this, and that's why I recommend a lot of people to try that out and just try these 50 tick rejections and kind of just play around with it, see what works best for them. You can see that even happened here as well with what was this level, previous month mid, right here. Rejection and then failure. But we're still getting the rejection, so as long as you market order, don't do limit. If you market order these levels, you can usually win these trades just by doing that. Alright, as you can see right here, the same level we just longed is now going for short. So you can kind of use it as support and resistance in a way of, if support gets broken and your bias is bearish, now use that previous support as resistance, okay? Works super well. I do that myself. As you can see right here, we have another one. So market reaches up for this zone that we've previously used for longs and shorts. It then sells off again. It literally, and then when it comes above it, I personally would not take this. I'm kind of just using it for an example, but it trades back into it. You can use it as support again. This kind of just goes to show you that there's a lot of possibility with this. But you don't always have to catch a huge bottom and top tick. You can literally just bottom and top tick like a smaller time frame, like the 30-second. Right now I'm on the 15-second. I ended up TPing on this account only just to show you that this is a real account. And if I can hide my numbers here, bang, it's an Alpha Futures account. Use code GUS. And just for transparency purposes, I'm literally showing you another account I took this on. This is a Tradeify account, and I will cover up the order numbers up here, but you can see this is not an eval. This is a real funded account. I'm up 4.8K. I will be taking a payout, hopefully at the end of the week or something like that. All right, I hope you guys are ready for the next strategy, because here it comes. This is going to be using inverse fair value gaps with these levels, and I can actually show you an example right here. And this is the same way I will use them. If I'm not looking to top tick, or for whatever reason I don't have enough conviction, I will wait for an inverse gap. Okay, so right here we're going to be looking at our monthly open. I'm going to scale my time frame and look for fair value gaps. Okay, well, we have monthly open. It disappeared because time frame is way too low at the moment, and it's still like calculating all the levels. But with a 30-second inverse, we get the close below right here. Okay, meaning you're going to be entering short with your stop loss sitting at the high. Now this will have a little bit more risk than if you're just taking the levels, because I recommend using the levels with a 50 tick stop loss. In this case, it might be 84 ticks, you know, whatever it is, it has to be at the high, okay? So as you can see, I have it sitting at the high. Like I was saying, you can use this for 50 tick rejections, like I teach in the PDF that comes with it, and on here and inside the Capital Academy. You can use it with inverses, rejection blocks, which is something I teach inside the Capital Academy, and other things like different order flow, you know, concepts that I will not speak of on here, just because I put a ton of time and energy into finding those out, and I feel like it's unfair to those people who are paying to learn that. So if you do want to learn that, it's inside the Capital Academy alongside that lifetime access to this indicator. But yeah, this is a full indicator showcase. I've been hitting crazy trades. I'm sure you guys have been seeing on my Instagram at GS Trades. Literally every day I've made multiple thousands of dollars top and bottom taking these zones. So pretty freaking crazy. That's multiple ways you can use it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in Discord or DM me on Instagram, and I will get back to you. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.